Welcome to Boulder Rotary Club on this Friday afternoon. Please stand and join Norma Portnoy, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the four-way test.
Thank you. Is this on? Yeah? Is this on? Yeah? No, it's not on? It is on. Oh.
There it goes.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And if visiting Rotarians and guests would remain standing.
You may be seated
Everyone
if
else
you
stand?
are not a visiting Rotarian or guest.
Thank you. Randy?
I'm very happy to introduce my guest, our guest today, Andy McKean from the South Jeffco Rotary Club. And Andy and I are working together on a project that our Peace Building Committee and therefore the club is working on down at the CU Denver, where they're creating a student-led program for conflict resolution and peace building. But I'm going to let Andy say a few more words because I think he might have something he'd really like to bounce off of us.
Yeah, we're doing a major fundraiser on November 9th, which is a Saturday. It's a 5K walk and run. And after the walk and run, we're doing a ball drop. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but it comes in a crane. We have 1,500 balls that will be dropped on a target. And the ball nearest to the target gets $1,000, and second place gets $500. And you don't have to be there to win. So I have tickets. They're $10 each, or 5 tickets for $30. So you get a special deal for 5. So I hope a lot of you, this is our first time doing this, so we really could use the help of fellow Rotarians. Well, the money is for the Action Center, which is in Jefferson County. It helps poor and homeless people and people that need help. They get food and clothes, and they help them get jobs and get housing. So it's the money goes to the Jeffco Action Center. It used to be called the Jefferson Action Center. Now it's just called the Action Center. So that's the primary organization that's going to benefit. So I hope I'll be here after the meeting. If you want tickets, I have them.
Hi, this is Mark Casey. Mark's second visit to Boulder Rotary and his third in life, including the 17-year-old visit that you had in high school. But Mark's son was also a Rotary nephew, a Rotary exchange student, and he has 2 children. Has a Marine background, but in his 20 years here in Boulder, he's been working in commercial real estate and looks forward to learn more about what we're doing because, as he and so many of us have heard, thinks we're a well-kept secret. So we'll enlighten him. Thanks. Mark.
We are honored to have prestigious, very prestigious people here with us today. On my right is Dr. Raut, who is from India, from the state of Maharashtra, where Dick and I have worked for 35 years. But here is what is amazing. He is a Paul Harris Fellow ×2, and he is a winner of the International Service Above Self Award, a very prestigious award. And on my left is Gowandi Law, who is, her ancestry is from the same area in India, and she is now a resident in Colorado. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to have one of our Rotary Vocational Scholarship recipients here today. His name is Brian Burns. I had Brian in class at Boulder High School. It's a class called Pathways to Teaching for kids who are pondering a career in education. And Brian was a wonderful, determined student. We're delighted to have him here today. He'll just say a word, but also with him is his mom, Kim Burns.
Hey, I would like to say thank you for the scholarship you've all given me. It is helping me out a lot. I don't have to worry about anything money related in schooling, so I can just solely focus on my education. So thank you all very much.
Hi, I'm thrilled to welcome Dana Edwards, visiting us from Boulder Valley Rotary today. She is a fellow Red Badger working towards her blue badge by visiting another location. So let's give her a big hand.
Good morning. I have my friend Laura Sparks here with me today, and I'd love to have you meet her one-on-one. She is very, very active in, excuse the expression, politics. Thank you. No judgment. Thanks.
I would like to introduce visiting Rotarian from the Club of Hilo. Their 100th year is this year, 1920. He currently lives in Grand Haven, Michigan. He's here visiting Boulder because he's an ultra marathoner, and so he's doing some consulting with a famous ultra marathoner physical therapist here in town. And he wanted to come visit a club, looked us up online, and figured out we were the best. So he also tonight, if anyone has an extra ticket for the USC game, he's open to that, especially if it's free. And, well, he didn't say that, but I said that. So he'll pay you too, or maybe through me for a little service charge. Okay, that's it. Stan Fortuna. There you go. Oh, wait, he's got a banner too. He's got a flag. So maybe why don't you go up? He'll come to you, it looks like. You guys will meet halfway. Look at this. I'm watching him go halfway. There we go. All right. All right, good deal. All right, thank you. Stan Fortuna.
Hello, I'm Paul Jurdy. I'm delighted to introduce two guests today. Both are scholars at the Watson Institute. Last week, those of you that were at the program may remember that I introduced Joseph Asenga in absentia. He looks a lot better in person, and I'm glad to have him with me today. Joseph is from Tanzania, as they call their country, and he is working. He's a medical school graduate. He came here to the Watson Institute to be working on a project directed toward maternal health, improving maternal health services, access, transportation, and so forth in his home country. And I'm also pleased to introduce Fahad Miriola from Uganda, who is a roommate with Joseph. And Fahad is working on a project in his home country, again, a youth-oriented and I would say a community center project for helping with employment, developing ways for both young people and for women with children to develop incomes. So we're delighted and thrilled to have you both with us today. Thank you very much.
Joseph and Fahad also gave me more background on what the various uses are for the rungu, and it's not just for ringing bells at our club meetings. See me afterwards if you want to know. So I want to start with a thank you to the 10 Rotarians and 2 guests who showed up last Saturday morning. 3 guests. Okay. I was in the brush a lot, but for cleaning up the brush along Boulder Creek, and we spent a couple hours working, and that's kind of what it looked like. That's what we got a little lesson in how to properly prune a tree from Nate, who is our liaison with the city, with Parks and Rec. And then once we finished that lesson, the next photo, this is an action photo of Roger Foreman and Sam, what's his name, Pottinger, out there in the brush, clipping, it is you, Sam, clipping and cutting, and And so Nate was very grateful that he had this volunteer workforce there, because the city, apparently they're down in their employment, and these volunteers make a big difference in the city's parks. So good job to all who showed up. Kitty DeKeefer has a little announcement to make about our signature event coming up in early 2020.
And I was told to hurry it up. So, February 8th, $125 a person, our signature event, Bold and Gold. I just finalized the food last night, and so we're going to come chase you down for your food choices. And please make sure you sign up, because December 31st, the ticket prices get increased. And go Buffs, we need all the help we can get.
Thank you, Kitty. So next up is a Red Badge Induction that has been roughly 6 years in the making, I think, before the flood of 2013. And Deborah Kelly's going to tell us more.
And Mike Brady, come on up too. Gordon, please, come on up. Come over here so we can see it. All right, it is my honor to welcome Gordon Gamm, our newest member of Boulder Rotary Club. Most of you already know Gordon. He's currently an honorary member of our club, and he has been attending our club meetings for years, so hopefully you've had a chance to talk to him in the past. I am so excited. He is actually becoming, taking the big leap of becoming a full Rotarian. So there's been a nice write-up that was in Gordon's, about Gordon, that was in the last several weeks of our weekly rib. So please read that. Please talk to Gordon and find out more, but I wanted to kind of give you a little of a reintroduction of a very interesting person. Dr. Gamm, he holds a law degree as well as a PhD, grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, attended Drake University, University of Michigan, and Tulane University. His law degree is from Tulane University, and he has a PhD in communication science from the University of Kansas. Where are you? Rock Chalk. My daughter went to KU, so. While living in the Kansas City area, Gordon worked for the Aid and Defender Society of Kansas City, was a manager of a law center for senior citizens in the 70s, and he was in private practice with Hill & Gamm, and then as a sole practitioner from the mid-70s to 1993. After moving to Boulder in 1993, he continued his legal practice here till 2007, and then he's been in the oil and gas industry since 1993. Most of us are familiar with Gordon for his philanthropy in our community. And in 2013, Gordon donated $100,000 to our Boulder Rotary Club Foundation's Endowment for Education, which permitted, back in 2013, our foundation to reach its initial $400,000 Endowment for Education fundraising goal, which was a very important milestone for our club. Thank you, Gordon. Much of his philanthropy has been focused on education and the arts and music. He and his wife Grace have donated funds for a room for a new construction in the CU Boulder School of Music. Many of us have enjoyed events at the Grace and Gordon Gamm Theaters at Boulder's Dairy Center for the Arts. He has generously supported Boulder Valley School District to help ensure no preschool child will become food insecure. And he's served on various local nonprofit boards, including the Boulder Philharmonic, the Colorado Music Festival. He currently serves as the chair of the Colorado Music Festival Advisory Council. And I would urge you to talk to Gordon more about, here's a list of things, I'm telling you, fascinating. The public service work he did in Jackson County, Missouri in the 1970s, his work with the ACLU, the books he has written on advocacy, and his work with behavioral modeling and neuro-linguistic programming, His extensive work with the American Humanist Association and as founder of the Boulder International Humanist Institute. The United States Supreme Court case he has worked on dealing with the issue of the separation of church and state. His father, who is an attorney in Shreveport, Louisiana, and the work that his father did in a segregated South during a very difficult time. His father's clients sounded like they came from To Kill a Mockingbird. And then the influence that this had on his life and work. Gordon is married to Grace. They enjoy travel, film, jazz, reading, nonfiction, humanist events, and home entertainment. At a prior Boulder Rotary Club talent show, he showed off his excellent piano skills. So please join me in welcoming Gordon as a regular member of our club and being a full-fledged Rotarian. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Right.
Thanks. Don't forget your water.
Oh, I need my water.
Yeah. Okay. So it's still October, but it's not too early to remember that November is Rotary International Foundation Month. And as part of our club's efforts to recognize the contributions of the Rotary Foundation, which totaled almost $87 million in the last year, we're going to recognize some Paul Harris Fellows at ceremonies on November 1st and November 15th. The other news that's Rotary Foundation related, and some of you may have read this already, is the WPV3, wild polio virus number 3, has been certified as gone. So, and along with smallpox and wild polio virus number 2, it's believed to be the only viruses that have been eliminated, and the Rotary International Foundation has played a big part in that. Next, our raffle. Alessandro was our raffle guy today, and he couldn't pull a ticket because he was the raffle guy. So I get to pull the ticket. So this is going to be a little more dramatic than usual because I won't be able to read the ticket without putting on my glasses. And hopefully I will read it correctly. All right, if I hold it this far away, it's easy. If you are the holder of 838-6830, you are the winner of today's raffle. Hans Wick, all right. See Brad Weasley afterwards. He will be stroking a check for you. Thank you very much, Reeves. George Russell, I see some people sitting at the birthday table with you, and that either means they like you or they're having birthdays, or both. Okay, George Russell with birthdays.
Age is just the number of years that the world has enjoyed you. It has nothing to do with your enjoyment. I ascribe to an old guy who was asked how he lived to be so long. He said, well, for my digestion, I drink beer. When I have a loss of appetite, I drink white wine. When I have low blood pressure, I take red wine. And when I have high blood pressure, I take Irish whiskey. The guy said, well, what do you do for colds? He says, well, I take schnapps. He said, what do you do? Do you ever drink water? And he says, I've never been that sick before. We have 2 birthday people. here, Nancy Stocker is, and they were born on the same day, so they're actually Siamese twins born of different mothers.
So George has the cowboy hat. I have the sheep lady hat from the Hand Weavers Guild. And that's sort of on my birthday, I like to thank my parents. My mother's grandfather had the first registered cattle brand in Wyoming. And her father ran sheep as well as cattle. And then my husband came along, and my mother met him, and he spent some years on his grandpa's cattle ranch in Nebraska, which is a whole nother story, Nebraska. So I didn't really plan it to tie in with the speaker, but I just wanted to point out that sheep running and cattle running thing, and if they can live together, anybody can make peace.
Happy birthday. Sally Brown is also born on the 27th. Happy birthday, Sally.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, Boulder Rotary, for another great year. I certainly enjoy standing here with you weekly, and I'm looking forward to being your president. And I just wanted to, my great uncle, was the president of the United Auto Workers, and he was definitely a mentor to me. And I went to Wayne State University where he taught, so his name was Douglas Fraser. And he had a wonderful quote that definitely has guided me, and I wanted to share it with you. And so he said, "I would rather sit with the rural poor, the desperate children of urban blight, the victims of racism, and the working people seeking a better life than those whose religion is the status quo, whose goal is profit, and whose hearts are cold." And I'm happy to be here with all of you who I know have such warm hearts for our world. So thank you.
Be sure and sit at the birthday table close to your birthday.
Well, now we're going to have a special birthday, Sally Brown birthday edition of the video.
Red Rob, Red Rob, read, Red Rob, Red Rob. Honey, I'm home. Here's Johnny. Read. Ah!
Whoa, that just cracked me up. Hello, Rotarians and guests, and thank you for being here today. Whoa, watch out.
Rotarians gathered at Boulder Creek to help the City of Boulder Parks and Recreation maintain the creek trails by clearing and pruning trees. Thank you to Nate and Charlotte for organizing.
Woohoo! Good job, team. And tomorrow is the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Check the link on the rib to find a Boulder County collection site. Hey, I know there's one at the ER entrance of Boulder Community Health's Foothills Hospital, and it's open all the time, any day.
Calling all Red Badgers, the next Red Badge meeting will be held on November 7th at 7:15 a.m. at the Buff.
And on Friday, November 8th, CU Rotaract is holding their networking event from 6 to 7 p.m. at the University Memorial Center, room 245. We're looking for Rotarians who have experience in medicine, business, finance, STEM research, graphic design, and brewing.
Next week's program is Hal Bruff, and he's talking about executive power.
Scary.
We're back at the JCC.
Should be a big program, and we're hoping to see you there. Yesterday, October 24th, was World Polio Day, and the following is a polio update from Carl Tinsman.
Polio eradication has had a tough year. The total number of cases this year is 72, when there were only 33 cases in 2018.
The wild polio virus exists only in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
A few years ago, when Islamic terrorism was at its height in Pakistan, militants killed dozens of vaccine distributors, who often worked with armed guards.
Security has now been improved, but polio cases are going up, not down. Extremists have long peddled conspiracy theories about polio drops. that they are a Western plot to sterilize Muslims. Even those who accept the need for the vaccine resent the government for insisting that children take it, while failing to provide much else in the way of health care.
Around 90% of parents accept the vaccine. To win over the final 10%, the campaign must be less punitive and intrusive, and to make the parents feel they are in charge of their child's right to immunization and nothing is being forced on them. Even a single case of polio is too many.
Close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again.
This close. We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio.
All we need is you.
This close. If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
We must end polio now.
Have a great weekend, Boulder Rotary.
Thank you, Daryl and Sally, for associating me with one of my favorite movies. Because as we all know, all work and no play makes John a dull boy. In addition, I want to thank Carol Griever, our past president greeter. I don't see Carol, but somebody was our past president greeter besides Carol, or... Well, thank you, Carol. Leanne Marshall, our Red Badge greeter. And I want to thank Sue Lounsbury, Roger Foreman, and Margie Sullivan for our member and guest registration. Scholarship Raffleman Alessandro Sachs. Our audio-visual team of Fred Hull, Lynn Johnson, and John Lehman today. And I want to give a special acknowledgement to our very own Bill Rubin, who is back with us after getting a little work done on his ticker. Welcome back, Bill. Have a great weekend.